Everyone has a backlog, a long, or if you're lucky, a short list of things you haven't gotten to just yet, that either you want to get to, or you plan to get to at some point. There are a lot of movies, TV shows and video games I'd love to watch, but time is such a limited commodity these days. That means my backlog is getting bigger and bigger. Today I'm going to run you through the list of movies and TV shows currently on my watch list as of October 2023 that I haven't managed to get to just yet, but will hopefully, fingers crossed, get to someday. Of course, there are tons of movies that I haven't yet watched, tons of TV shows I haven't watched, tons of games I haven't watched. I'm just telling you what's on my watch list across all the streaming platforms, all the other services and so on right now. First up, let me address Paramount Plus. So Paramount Plus, if you've ever seen any of my content regarding streaming services or Paramount Plus itself, you'll know that in the UK, Paramount Plus just isn't very good. There's no 4K, no Dolby Vision, no HDR, half the time you don't even get surround sound. And the quality of the streaming service and the app itself just isn't very good either. That means there's a bunch of things on Paramount Plus that I just flat out refuse to watch. Unless it's Star Trek. So, things like Yellowstone, Tulsa King, 1883, the stuff from Taylor Sheridan basically. There's Spec Ops Lioness as well. All of those things I really want to get to, but until the Paramount sorts itself out, I just refuse. I've got principles. Another one is Halo, the TV show. That should be right up my alley. Halo, video game, I like video games, I like sci-fi, it looks decent enough, I've heard some decent things, nothing outstanding, but all these shows should be watched in the best possible quality, and yet here in the UK, that's just not an option. So, they have to go on standby. In a similar vein, The Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone, available to stream here in Paramount Plus, but you can also watch it on Prime Video here. It's a long film, and I've always been a bigger fan of The Godfather Part 3 than most people, but you know, the length of it, haven't really had time to get to watch this new edited version of The Godfather Part 3. Over on Apple TV Plus, there's 3 things that I haven't yet watched. Shrinking, starring Harrison Ford and Jason Segel. I actually watched the first episode of Shrinking, didn't think much of it, wanted to give it another shot, didn't have the time. Heard some very good things about it, so it is on my list. Another one is Physical. Physical starring Rose Byrne, big fan of Rose Byrne. I like what she does, it looks like a fun TV show. Heard some mixed things about it. I did watch the first episode again, couldn't quite get into it, but it is on my list to give it another shot. The other one is Tehran. So Tehran reminds me a lot of Homeland. Don't really know much about Tehran, but I know Glenn Close is in the 2nd season. That's a pretty big deal. So I do want to watch Tehran at some point. That's what's on Apple TV Plus right now that I haven't had a chance to watch. Over on Prime Video, we've got Manhattan. So this year we had a big film called Oppenheimer. And Oppenheimer tells a true story about Oppenheimer, who created the atomic bomb. Well, there's a TV show called Manhattan, which tells a fictionalized version of that story as well, about the people living in that town that he built to build the atomic bomb. I haven't seen Manhattan yet. It's got Rachel Brosnahan in there, and I absolutely love her, and it's one of her earlier roles. I want to watch Manhattan. I know it only had 2 seasons. It's available on Prime Video here in the UK. Or it might be Freevee. Either way, it's available. I want to watch that. It's on my backlog. Only 2 seasons, so there's a chance I could binge through that at some point. The Peripheral. This was a Chloe Grace Moretz sci-fi drama series or thriller, and it looks really intriguing and interesting about VR and video game related stuff. It got renewed for a 2nd season, but then was cancelled because of the strikes. So this might end up getting pushed aside. Especially if it turns out there isn't really some sort of finale or closure to the show. Why would I want to go out of my way to watch this if I know there's not going to be an ending? But it is still on my list right now. Another one is The Family Man. This is an Indian TV show. I was a big fan of Farsi earlier this year. The Family Man is the show that the makers of this Farsi done before Farsi. And it's set in the same universe as Farsi. So it's a crime show, it's got drama in there, it's got action in there, it's got comedy in there. I think this will be right up my alley, but again, this is a longer running show and I just don't have the time for it. A mini-series this year came out called Daisy Jones and the Six. Heard some very good things about it. It got a lot of critical acclaim and attention, got a good cast in there as well. It looks a bit like A Star Is Born in certain regards. It's on my list. It is a mini-series, but it's a longer mini-series. I believe it's for 10 episodes or something like that. So I'm interested. I want to watch this. I want to watch it this year ideally. And yeah, this is one which I think I could get to and binge through given the chance as soon as things quiet down a bit. Couple of older shows now. Hell on Wheels, a western. I love good westerns. It stars Anson Mount. It's got Paul Meany in there as well. It looks really fun and interesting. But the thing is, I hold westerns up to a very high standard. My favourite TV show of all time is Deadwood. Hell on Wheels does not look like Deadwood. It doesn't look like it's got the quality of Deadwood, so I'm not sure how much I will like it. Again, I think there's a bunch of seasons of this with like 13 episodes a season. It's going to be a time investment, so that's why that's on my backlog right now. The other one, this is a really big TV show with a lot of episodes in there, 20 plus episodes per season, so when I'm going to get to this, who knows? But it is Miami Vice. I've never seen the original Miami Vice, heard a lot of good things about it. It's full of great stars and characters, lots of cool vibes to it as well. But again, very long show. I haven't been able to watch that. Over on Netflix, we've got Midnight Diner. So Midnight Diner is a Japanese TV show, I believe, and it's a half-hour show in which people go to this diner in Japan and they interact with the chef there, and it feels like a very interesting show in that it's more about mental health and it's a bit like a psychologist show, I believe. I could totally be wrong. Again, I heard a lot of good things about this. The fact that it is half an hour episodes makes it very enticing, but there are several seasons of it now. There's a spin-off show on it as well, which is also on Netflix here. But yeah, hearing a lot of very good things about Midnight Diner. It's one of those shows where I don't know how much I'm actually going to like it, but it is one that I want to check out and experience. Bloodhounds. Bloodhounds is a South Korean TV show. It looks like it's a very crime-driven, thriller-orientated show. Very boxing themed as well. I'm getting a lot of vibes of the video game The Getaway from it, but in Korea. And it looks like it's very fun, very action-packed. It's a dark, gritty crime drama, really. I just haven't had a chance yet for that either. A movie now is You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah. This is a Adam Sandler joint. Sort of. Adam Sandler's in it. It is a comedy, but it's primarily focused on his children. Yeah, they're getting the spotlight now, and I believe they might have been involved in writing this movie as well. Heard some good things about it, but again, it's one of the films that's kind of floating under the radar, because Adam Sandler is in it, but he's not the face of it. He's kind of a supporting character in it. So, not a lot of promotion, not a lot of marketing for this one. Haven't heard huge amounts about it, except that it's meant to be good. So that's on my back burner too. Call My Agent. So Call My Agent is a French comedy drama TV show about the people who work in a talent agency in France. This has been adapted into English, it's been adapted into multiple different languages in different regions. It looks very fun, very enjoyable. Of course it is French, so there's subtitles to it. That's something you're going to have to get by. But I believe there's about 8 episodes a season, there are about 4 seasons. It's still ongoing, they are making a new season. And like I said, they're all continuing to expand it into different languages and nationalities as well. It looks very fun. I like the whole idea of it being about talent agent. I like having real life actors in there. I like it being about Hollywood, or not Hollywood in this case, but about the film industry. That's all right up my alley. But again, who's got the time to watch all these things? On Disney Plus, there's a TV show called Moving. This is also a South Korean TV show. Really don't know anything about this whatsoever. I just heard it's good, so I added it to my list. That's what I do. If I hear something that's good, I'll add it to my list, regardless of what it is, because I watch everything. Moving is one of those shows which I'm hearing a lot of really big things. It came out this year. It is South Korean, and that's all I know. I like South Korean TV and movies. I like good things. This is a good thing, apparently. So it's on my list. Another one is The Americans, another older show which has about 10 to 13 episodes per season. It's a thriller, it's got all of this spy stuff going in there. It sounds like it's right up my alley. Never given it a chance. Will I ever give it a chance? That goes for a lot of things on my backlog right now. How many of these shows and movies will I actually sit down and watch? Probably not many of them, because there's so many new stuff coming out, so much new, more modern, relevant stuff coming out. You don't always have the time to go back and watch the older things, like The Americans, like Miami Vice. Especially when you're watching things like NYPD Blue and The Practice, two TV shows which are my long-running TV shows right now. I'm adding them onto this list because I am very slowly making my way through them. NYPD Blue, I'm currently on season 4, enjoying the hell out of it. It has its ups and downs, it is a bit formulaic at times, and it's very dated in certain regard. Dennis Franz is great in that role, but wow, is he a problematic character in 2023. The Practice, meanwhile, big fan of Boston Legal. The Practice never got released here in the UK though, not in full. So I'm watching it on Disney Plus. How I'm watching it I will not say. We'll get into that maybe another point in the future. But I am watching it legally. I want to make that clear. It is legal what I'm doing. And I'm enjoying the hell out of it. It is set in the world of Boston Legal, but before the events of Boston Legal, because it came out before Boston Legal. It's a very good show. It is dated in certain regards, but I'm slowly making my way through it. And it is just more courtroom drama TV, and I really like it. It's very fun. But those two, NYPD Blue and The Practice, are two of the shows which are preventing me from watching many of these other shows, because these are 20 plus episode season TV shows that I am trying to watch at the same time, slowly making my way through it, like one episode every other day it is at this point. And if something new comes out, guess what? Those two shows get put on the back burner until I get through that new thing. That's how it goes. So until I finish NYPD Blue and The Practice, I ain't going to watch the likes of Miami Vice or Daisy Jones and the Six. I might actually watch Daisy Jones and the Six because it is a mini-series. And that's my backlog, at least that's what's currently on my watch list. Again, bunch of movies, a bunch of TV shows that I haven't even mentioned, which I haven't got around to. The Shawshank Redemption is one which I've never watched that film. That's constantly on my list of things that I need to get to and need to watch and try out someday. But I've not put it on this backlog right now because it's not something that I'm actively like saying, right, I'm going to watch it. What's on your backlog? What haven't you seen or watched yet? Of course there's video games out there as well. I'm not here to talk about video games today though, because that's a really big list of a lot of things to talk about. But yeah, some stuff I won't get to because I don't have the time. Some stuff I won't get to because it's just not right. All the stuff on Paramount Plus, for example, I just don't feel right watching that stuff considering the state of that app right now in the UK. And that's it. Let me know in the comments if you like what's on your backlog, what you think of the shows I just watched today, which one should I get to first. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @the_GrantBurton, and most importantly subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Until next time, thanks for watching.